It's a friendly rivalry. What a supreme season. And that is an Australian record.
Tonight, the Grand Prix Grand Prize. Cathy Freeman goes head-to-head with Daniela Costian for the biggest prize in Australian athletics. With more than $110,000 on the line, the men, Rowan Robinson, Tim Forsyth and Andrew Curry, also determined to be part of the Grand Prix Grand.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the State Athletics Centre here in Brisbane for the Optus Grand Prix final. $15,000 of Optus prize money up for grabs tonight, and for Paul Cleary and Margaret Crowley, the opportunity to cement their place in the Olympic team. Joining me in commentary is Bruce McAvaney. And Bruce, big night for Paul Cleary and Margaret Crowley.
I think they've got a chance too, David. Great fields tonight for both of them in the 1500 metres, and they have an outstanding chance of qualifying. And looking at the big three, as we did going into this hosting, as to who would win the overall Grand Prix, my feeling is that Robinson's up against it. It looks like Forsyth's in the box seat, and Curry really would have to do something astonishing. They drop one of their results. They take 3 plus bonus points into this, so this is a most important one. But if both Robinson and Forsyth are successful tonight, it looks like Forsyth will get the money.
Absolutely. Forsyth, although he's on 48 points, he does have to drop 9, which brings him back to equal with Rowan Robinson. They're the only two that are in the running for the overall prize. Robinson has to break his Australian record to have any chance.
And Melinda Gainsford here to talk about the women's situation. Mel, you did get the money last year. Cathy Freeman looks as if she's best placed, though Daniela Costian's currently leading. But if Cathy wins tonight, I think it's going to be beyond Daniela's reach.
Yes, I think Cathy will be titled to this tonight. Renee's, will be there giving her a hard time, but I know that Cathy will probably come through, and it'll be great because she has had a great year. She did a fantastic time at the NEC meet, and also, I think she deserves it. It'll be the first time that she'd ever win, Athlete of the Year.
Yes, she does seem as if she's had that sort of a season. We look at the points and we see that Costian is in front of Freeman. But with a bonus point situation and the fact that you drop one, Freeman's going to come in. And if she wins tonight, it looks impossible for Costian. And we see some of the other top runners there, including Margaret Crowley, who we talked about, who has a great chance of making the Olympic team outright tonight. Terry Kennedy's down at ground level. Terry, we're high in the stand. It looks as if it's an almost perfect night. So Rowan Robinson shouldn't be disadvantaged in his circular race with Tim Forsyth in the high jump.
No doubt about it, Bruce. You are right again. Near perfect conditions here at QE2 Stadium. At the moment, there's a northeast sea breeze blowing here. That gives the athletes a great boost off the top turn, and then they'll have a nice tail breeze to bring them home. But Rowan Robinson will need all the help. He'll have to run a time of around 48.53 seconds. That will put him into the world top 10, so he is up against it. And of course, Tim Forsyth, well, a jump of 2:34. That should secure him the big bonus of $10,000. So Forsyth might have a mortgage on the overall title. There's no mortgage on this 100 metres final coming up. Rob Mapstone up against Dean Capobianco, the new national champion.
Yes, Terry, you're right about Capobianco winning that 200 metres in Sydney. He goes from lane 5 here, and he'll be the hottest of favourites. DeBella in 1, Nella 2, Whitnish in 3, all big names. Hunter 4, then Capobianco, Johnny Delay in 6, Ogilvie of Canada 7, Jason Snell in 8, the junior, and then over the page, Ian Lowe and Peter Missingham. 10 lanes here. I like Capobianco, what I saw of him in Sydney. I thought he looked sharp.
Yes, it's looking as though he's on up here with his performances, and he has no one tonight. Mapstone is out, and also Marsh, so he can relax and hopefully use these conditions for a good time.
Could actually get an A qualifier here at 10.34, I feel, Capobianco, if he really goes for it in the middle. He came out all right. Beaten out, though, by Hunter. Now gathers them in. Delay going quickly. Capobianco, Whitnish, Nella 2 going well. Capa's got them, though. He'll win from Nella 2, Whitnish and Delay. Took a little while to shrug them off, Capobianco, but was too strong in the end and has won quite handsomely. Good run by Nella 2, and also Whitnish and Delay showed a lot of early speed.
You're right, Bruce. It was a great run from Ricky Nella too. In the relay squad last year for the World Championships, he was with Kappa for a long way there. And Kappa's really lost that explosive speed over the first 30 or 40 with that Achilles injury. The old Capobianco would have really burst away here. Delay still with him, Whitnish and Nella too. But a good run for Kappa.
Yeah, it's looking good. You know, the strength is there for the 4x1. You know, as I said, a few of the guys are out tonight, but Whitnish has been running well all season, and Nalatu, unfortunately, last year didn't run as well as he would like. So, you know, tonight he would have been happy with that performance.
Well, Dean's down there with Terry Kennedy after the run.
Huffing and puffing, Dean Capobianco, but the race is getting shorter, but you're getting quicker.
Oh, mate, you know, week after Nationals, I can relax a little bit now. You know, there's much pressure on these races, but it's still nice to come out and, you know, my aim was to come out and, you know, run fast tonight.
No Rob Matstone, did that take a little bit of pressure off?
I don't know. I really look forward to racing Rob tonight, and anyone really, you know. I just think I need the racing, and I think it's doing me good.
It's all coming together nicely for you now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's been a while, you know, but I just feel comfortable with things now. You know, I think, you know, I got the monkey off my back last weekend with that, you know, going into that 200 and having a win, and, you know, that's really helped my confidence. You know, sprinting's a big confidence game and helps a hell of a lot.
Well done tonight.
Thanks, mate.
Competitive event, and the time there for Capobianco, 10.40 in front of Nalatu and Whitnish, the line not far away as we run down the list. So not a bad time for Kappa, just not really slick at the moment at 100. Now the 400, there's a field of 9 here. In lane 1, Cameron Brown. John in 2, Simon Atkin, who was actually disqualified after the final of the Nationals. In 3, Sean Farrell, the New Zealander. 4, Jamie Bolch, who's the Australian champion. He won the championship. 5, Paul Green. 6, Anthony Ryan. 7, Cameron McKenzie. Didn't make the final in Sydney. 8, Lewis Rangott, who made some inroads. And 9, Adrian McLeod. Favourite here will be Jamie Bolch on the strength of that run, Melinda and David in Sydney, but I think Green does get a chance here, David, to have a crack at him.
I think so. I think the thing in Green's favour here is that just one run, of course, went very well in the heat in Sydney, but I think having to run heat and final really affected him there. So on the strength of his run in Melbourne, Green, where he was super impressive, he ran 45.54, just outside his best. Bolch, of course, in Sydney, 45.71. So it's going to be a good race. But I think Green will be very keen to bounce back after that defeat at the Nationals.
There's Paul Green, who's down to run in the 200 metres later tonight. He's been a Commonwealth finalist at 200 and 400 metres. 200 back in 1990 and 400 in Canada a year and a half ago. There's his personal best time, but he got very close to that, as David said, in Melbourne. And chance here to break through again. Good crowd here tonight. It's a very intimate stadium. First time I've been here. I really like it, Melinda. I think it's a tremendous venue for fast times and some competitive athletics.
Yes, it looks that way, Bruce. You know, this used to be the warm-up track, and now it's been converted to a main stadium, and it's got a lovely atmosphere because there's, you know, people all around the track, and that is really important. It's really not so much the numbers, but it's the atmosphere, and it's great tonight.
It's very European. You can see the people in the background there behind Jamie Bolch. That's the VIP area. They're right down on the track. So for those lucky enough to be sipping the beers and the Chardonnays, they've got a fantastic view of these athletes, but very much in the European style, as Bolch is just introduced to the crowd.
Standards here for the Olympics, and the team will be announced tomorrow with, I guess, some additions and maybe even some subtractions before we get to Atlanta. 45.45 is the AA standard. Nobody's got that, but Green, Michael Joubert and Mark Ladbroke have all got the A standard of 45.84, so I still see this as a possibility for Green to improve his best time ever and to get that AA standard.
I think also, Bruce, that relay spots are up for grabs here. Cameron McKenzie and Anthony Ryan are vying for those relay positions, so an impressive performance here tonight. The selectors certainly have the opportunity to add people from tonight's meet, so big opportunity for Anthony Ryan and the Victorian Cameron McKenzie.
Yes, it's also interesting here tonight because Mark Ladbroke, who was the first Australian over the line last week in the 400 metres, is not running tonight and is running the 200. So he must think that he has a spot cemented, and he wants to try out a PB in the 2 tonight.
And he did run well also in the 200 in Sydney, being placed there, so he's come to form quite brilliantly. What will Bolch do here, David? We saw him in Melbourne go out so quickly and then tie up, and then in Sydney he hurled back and ran a very well judged race. In fact, ran over the top of Ladbroke.
I think he'll run an even race. That was what he struggled to do early in the season, certainly in Sydney, at the Grand Prix meeting, and also in Hobart. So I think you'll find he'll run a very even race here. save a little bit up his sleeve for the straight.
He's a 22-year-old from Britain, so he'll hopefully be in Atlanta. The British team, their trials are in Birmingham later this year. Pretty cutthroat too, their trials. Not quite like the Americans, 1, 2, 3, but normally it's 1 and 2 automatically in, so a lot of depth in British 400-metre running. There he is. But we're hoping here that he has his colours lowered by Green. They're in the middle lanes. Green got out fast. Bolts can sit on him from that lane. As we go through the field from outside in, McLeod, Rangott, out fast McKenzie, then Ryan, Green, Bolts. Then came Farrell, Atkin and Brown John. You can see the big two though at halfway. Green probably just in front of Bolts as we go to the outside lanes. Ryan coming out after McKenzie. Bolts now to make his move on Green and Ryan at 130. Ryan goes up and joins McKenzie. Green still back a fair way. Bolts starting to come home strongly. Can Green go with him? They're both going up to Ryan. Bolts just shading Green, Ryan and McKenzie. Green can't get to Bolts. Bolts is coming right away. He's in very good form and 45.67. He's getting quicker. Green second, Ryan third.
Great run from Jamie Bolts. Disappointing there again from Paul Green. Obviously he peaked around the time of the Melbourne meet to run that great 400 time there. But all honours to Jamie Bolts, the Flying Pineapple from Wales. Another victory.
Yeah, it's great. Jamie has just been so happy with his form. I mean, they've come over here with Colin Jackson and his group for 3 months to train, which probably isn't overly easy, you know, staying in one place. But he's been training well and he's keep on bringing his times down. So, you know, speaking to him the other night, and he was saying things were looking good for overseas.
Okay, let's go down and join Terry Kennedy as we see Paul Green really striving there in second place behind Jamie Bolts. He's worked home not too badly, Green. He just didn't have that real sparkle again tonight. Bolts the winner, but Green second, and he's now with Terry Kennedy. Terry.
Well, Paul Green, Bruce McAvaney says, just not quite that normal sparkle there in the straight.
Yeah, out of the while back, I guess I must have been racing too much or something. But get it back, I hope.
It has been a long, hard domestic season, really. The quality's been up there.
Yeah, well, I started out doing 2s and 4s. This is only my 4th 400 of the season. It's a long way to go to Atlanta though. So hoping tomorrow make the team and can start training towards that.
Maybe a restless night's sleep, or you're pretty confident?
Yeah, it'll be a restless night's sleep, I think. Just got to hope for the best. You know, I haven't been in bad form. I haven't been as good a form as I'd like to be, but I'm pretty happy with my form so far this season, and I know I've got room to improve.
Look forward to Atlanta, Paul Green.
Thanks very much.
So from Paul Green, let's go to the hammer throw now, and here's another man who'll be in Atlanta. Sean Carlin has won a string of Australian titles, was in very good form last week in Sydney, got it out to 75. This is his second round. This was earlier in the evening. He's the dominant hammer throw in this country, though he's been challenged a little by Stuart Rendell in recent weeks.
He has been, but it was a great performance by him on that last throw at the national title. Certainly a relief, Sean Carlin there. So I'm sure he's fancying his chances of some good throwing here tonight. Just fell away from that one. Really didn't lock the feet into position. And just over 70 metres, his round 2 throw. So a little bit of work to do. Here's Stuart Rendell. He's the from the ACT. Threw very well last week.
Got to 72 metres today, didn't he? I mean, he's just really got through the 70-metre barrier. Now he's up to 72, and he looks like he's a good performer. He's been second twice now to Carlin in the Nationals.
Good-looking throw too from Rendell. Right on that 70-metre mark, so he's been consistent around that 70-metre mark for the last couple of weeks. Just 23 years of age, so still really just learning the craft. 69.72, so just under that 70-metre mark for Rendell.
It's a bit down tonight at the moment, those athletes. Now, Daniela Costian has been in brilliant form. We talked about her earlier tonight and her battle with Kathy Freeman for the Grand Prix champion. Costian earning those points in Perth, Sydney, Hobart and Melbourne. Bonus points 11, total 45. But she's had real battles, hasn't she, with Visionari and Fawamina. It certainly hasn't been just Costian this year. They've been really battling 1, 2, 3. And here's the other outstanding Australian who won the Commonwealth Games as a youngster in 1990. Lisa Marie, and it came back strongly last year to qualify late for Gothenburg, and she has matched it with Costian this year.
Importantly for her, she won the national title last week, her first in the discus, and she was absolutely delighted, the 24-year-old, on the home track. Pretty conducive conditions for the discus here tonight, and that is a good throw for Visionari. The tape in the discus is at the 60-metre mark. A new circle here, 62.50 in round one. That's a good start for Lisa Marie Visionari.
She's a great athlete, actually. Got tremendous speed, hasn't she? I know she's a big woman, but she's fast and powerful. And her best days are in front of her. She's happy.
Really puts the pressure on Costian now. In fact, that may not be in the best interests of Cathy Freeman. A fired up Daniela Costian. Here she comes, moving into the circle now. Commonwealth gold, Olympic bronze. Look at that personal best, 68 metres 72. It's the Australian record, the Commonwealth record. She'll be keen to perform here in front of her home crowd.
Looked good in the warm-up, didn't she? Was getting the discus right out there in the warm-out, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if she's right there near Visionari early, and this is going to be a high-quality competition. Quite often in discus and in field events like this, the best throws are the first, but they're right on it straight away.
61.96 for currently in third place, so Faumuina splitting Costian and Visionari. Great competition in store in the women's discus. Absolutely world class. Top three in the Commonwealth in action.
Women's 1500 metres, talking about world class. Angela Chalmers in one. Harvey, Collins, Jamison, good names here. Crowley going for a qualifier. Lightfoot, Anderson, Nolan as we go over the page. And we see that Anne Cross, Carolyn Chihualo and Sandra Dawson. Great mix here of 5,000 metre runners, 800 metre runners and the traditional 1500. The time that Crowley is going for here, Margaret Crowley, is 4:10 on the dot. She's run 4:10.30 and 4:10.35. She just needs to get under 4:10.
And I don't think that Jenny Orr's Australian record of 4:08.06 set way back in Munich's out of the question.
No, there's a chance here tonight. Maybe it might be, if it's not Crowley, Anderson. There's Chalmers. What a great athlete. That did the double in Auckland in 1990 and then went back and won the 3,000 in Canada in 94. And that year she was in outstanding form. So we'll set this up for the women's 1500. The pace should be on. Chalmers has said that she's been doing a lot of mileage and she hasn't really tapered for this. They beat her in Hobart, but she was too strong for Kate Anderson in the 5,000 metres. Chihualo in the field, but it looks like it's Dawson leading to do some of the pace with Chalmers tucked in behind. Anderson I can see in fourth placing. Crowley's in that group with Natalie Harvey, who made such a breakthrough. Lisa Lightfoot's up in about third placing. Margaret Crowley and Anne Cross, their sisters, both in this race together, but all eyes on Crowley and also Anderson. So 86 Dawson, 66 Chalmers, 71 Lightfoot. Tucked in behind is Anderson. 75 there is Geraldine Nolan from Ireland. Crowley just in behind with Anne Cross. So the time's going to be so important here. 4:10 the key. Anderson has an A qualifier, but I'm sure she's looking more at the 5,000 metres in Atlanta.
Well, in fact, she has said that she wants to run the 1500
as well.
So probably the favoured for the 5,000, but she has said that she wants to run the 1500, which of course means that Margaret Crowley must get an A qualifier if she's to go also. But Dawson's doing a good job out in front here. Crowley's pretty comfortable in behind. Certainly the best 1500 metre field we've seen this season.
What a spectacular night it is too for athletics here in Brisbane. Good crowd, beautiful conditions and high quality fields. So Dawson leading. She was runner-up in the National 800 metres Championship last week. Leads from Crowley, the National 1500 metre champion. Then the Commonwealth 3,000 metre champion, Chalmers, in third place. Tucked in behind Anderson, the Australian record holder at 5,000 metres, and Geraldine Nolan, who was a finalist in the European Championships a couple of years ago. Then 2:17 Anne Cross, who ran for Australia in Gothenburg in the 5,000 metres last year. Natalie Harvey just in behind that group. And Carolyn Chihualo is two from the back. As we've gone through now 700 metres, we're about to go up and get the 800 metre split.
They're looking for around 2:12. was the time that the pacemaker was requested to go through. So they're a little bit out of that, so they'll need to pick up the pace, and you get the feeling that Margaret Crowley knows that now. I'm sure that the coach were on the sidelines to give those splits, and Crowley, realising that she's a little bit down, has taken the lead.
It's what she did in Sydney last week. Had to do it from the front. Now, hopefully Chalmers will help her here, and she's going to, the Canadian. Good to her word. Crowley's kicked up, though, on her. Maybe they'll run together, with Anderson now coming through into third placing. She's moved right up. Remember, she out-kicked both of them in Hobart. And again, Natalie Harvey showing tremendous form in fourth place. The young Victorian who made the huge breakthrough there. She's number 67. And 72 Lightfoot has run about 4:14 and the 800-metre champion. So a fascinating race here. Chalmers, such a beautiful mover. Leads Crowley, Anderson, Harvey, Dawson, Nolan, and then Lightfoot with 400 metres to run. 3:06 around about. It's got to be about 64, a bit under the last lap. They'll make the long run for home now.
Well, they're in a good position, and Angela Chalmers certainly has good speed, as does Margaret Crowley. She's perfectly placed behind Angela Chalmers. If they can just kick it down a little bit, then Margaret Crowley's certainly a very good chance.
Anderson, normally a fast finisher, and also has them in her sights. She's one that you cannot give away in a race because she can be up and down a bit, but now Chalmers starting to wind it up at 200. Crowley well placed on her shoulder. About 3 metres to Anderson, and they're right away from the others. So Crowley coming up right on the shoulder now of Chalmers.
Well, you shouldn't discount Kate Anderson. She did this in Hobart, where she really did leap out of the ground over the last 50, but at the moment, Chalmers and Crowley, Anderson not too far away.
So look at the time, the Australian record, 4:08.06. Here's Anderson with a flashing run. Crowley responding tonight. Anderson might have her again. Crowley and Anderson, the time's important. Could the Australian record go? It does! It has stood forever. They've done it at long last.
Well, that is absolutely fantastic. Kate Anderson, she broke the Australian record in the 5,000 metres earlier in the season, and now she takes one of the longest standing Australian records. Jenny Oars.
72 Munich, wasn't it?
Olympic Games
in 1972 it stood for 24 long years.
She was just a junior, Jenny Oars, so she still hangs on to the under-20 record, so Jenny Oars' name will stay in the record books. Here's Kate Anderson. We said that she did exactly this in Hobart, and she's come through, and the good news is for Margaret Crowley, definitely a qualifying time.
And well done, Angela Chalmers, for the work she did over the last lap. But what a wonderful race, and we've now made major breakthroughs at 5,000 metres and 1,500 metres in this domestic season. I know, Melinda, you got a big kick out of that. So watching up here, it was a thrilling finish, wasn't it?
Oh, it's awesome. You know, because I'm a sprinter, I haven't had as much involvement as recently in these longer distances, and I've always loved Kate Anderson. She is the most aggressive competitor, and, you know, she's also hungry for it, and it's just fantastic to watch.
Well, big news here also, because not only has she taken Jenny Oars' Australian record set in 72, but she removes the name of Greta Waitz, the great Norwegian distance runner's Australian all-comers record, 4:07.6. So official winning time for Anderson, 4:07.04. So certainly takes Greta Waitz' record set in 1979 in Melbourne.
So what that means is no one has ever run a 1,500 metres faster in this country. All-comers record meaning that. Look at everybody celebrating there. Margaret Crowley getting through, wonderful performance to qualify the national champion. Let's go down and join Terry Kennedy. Terry, it was a race of celebration.
It was a race of celebration, definitely. No one has ever run a faster 1,500 metres in this country than this lady in front of me, Kate Anderson.
Thank you. I'm a bit tired, but wrapped us all over.
Justifiably so tired, but really, did you think that record was on the cards? It stood forever.
Yeah, I know. With 400 to go, I was struggling and I couldn't take off when the other girls did, and I thought down the final straight that Marg was going to get me, but I just got her, so wrapped.
It worked out well for Margaret Crowley as well, dragging her through to an Olympic qualifying time.
Right, yeah, I'm wrapped that she's done an A. That's fantastic.
Now the 5,000 metre also on the plate. What about the 1,500 metres in Atlanta after that run?
I don't know. Well, I think they're about a week apart, so it is possible. I think Sonia O'Sullivan said she was going to do the double, so it is possible, but I think I'll just see how I go.
Kate Anderson, well done on a tremendous performance.
Thank you.
Great season.
Thanks very much.
Well, as you said, what a likeable young woman she is, Kate Anderson. They're the results from the 400. 45.66, Jamie Bolsh. That's a great run. Greenie just outside the 46, and Anthony Ryan, who went out very hard with Cameron McKenzie at 46.26 and 46.45. hammer. We go back earlier today, the men's hammer. We saw Sean Carlin earlier and also Stuart Rendell. This is Peter Vivian, who was third in the Australian Championships. He's been out here training with Sean Carlin. His very best is at 71 metres, but that's a little time ago, but certainly been a very good competitor at the Commonwealth level.
Has probably been the third ranked hammer thrower in the country this year. And I say in the country, he has been out here since the first time we saw these hammer throwers way back on Australia Day in Adelaide. Conditions would suit the hammer throwers tonight. It's nice and warm, 68 metres. So he is currently in third place.
So we go back to our leader, Sean Carlin.
Just over 70 metres at the moment. So he really does need something here. Again, just fell away, and in fact, he screams, and you could hear from the audio that he's thrown that one straight into the side of the cage. So certainly affecting the distance. So 68.90 for Carlin, so he'll have to be content with just over 70 metres. And there's the result. Carlin, gee, only just over Stuart Rendell. It's a good result for Stuart Rendell, the closest he's been to the Commonwealth champion this season. And Peter Vivian from Great Britain in third place with 68 metres even.
Carlin winning again, but as David said, Rendell getting closer from that men's hammer. 400-metre hurdles, the next event coming up. Rowan Robinson, the key here. He's got some hope of winning the overall title. He'll have a great hope if Tim Forsyth was beaten tonight, and that's not out of the question. Rowan's got to run 48.52 if Forsyth wins, and a few other things happen. But in Canberra, Hobart and Melbourne, he got maximum points. Plenty of bonus points. He has broken the Australian record 3 times this year. His total is 37. Here's the start list. Peter Bate, Chris Carroll, Rod Zudowitz, Simon Hollingsworth, Rowan Robinson, Zed Abu Hamed, Matt Beckenham and Andrew Laverick. So they're the starters, and again the keys will be Robinson, Hollingsworth and the Zed.
Well, incredibly, Rowan Robinson has finished second 3 times in the Grand Prix, twice behind Tim Forsyth. So he doesn't want to be in the same position again here tonight. He's in great form, so anything is possible, but would be a fantastic run to launch himself into the world top 10. There's Hollingsworth. He told me today that he'd think of nothing better than raining on Rowan's parade. The Tasmanian.
That's competitiveness for you.
Well, you know what that's like, Melinda. You gave $10,000 to Jane Fleming here in Brisbane at the national titles in '93. Of course, you beat Freeman in the 200 metres, and Jane Fleming took the overall title in the 100-metre hurdles. And I think there might have been a little bit of a sling for you as well.
Not that everyone needs to know about that, David. But no, I'm sure Rowan's going to be out there tonight. It's amazing what $10,000 can do to an athlete and what an incentive it is for them as well. So he'll be out there to do a personal best. And, you know, the form he's in, it's not impossible, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, he's brought that record down, hasn't he, consistently this season. He broke it 3 times in the space of 11 days. And I thought his run at the Nationals, he got away with it. It was a good, strong effort in terrible conditions after he didn't look over impressive in his heat. You won't get a better night than this to run fast. It's perfect. I think we're on for a fast one here. And I wonder if Hollingsworth can get under 49.20. So Robinson and Hollingsworth in his sights and Abu Hamad outside of them. So the big 3 are in the middle, as you'd expect. From the inside, Bate, Carroll, and then Zudowitz. Oh, gee, Hollingsworth pulled up in the back straight, in trouble. He's got an injury, Hollingsworth, so he's out of business. There's a disaster for him. And Robinson goes up and joins Abu Hamad at halfway. Going well as Zudowitz down in lane 3, but Robinson's gone out very hard tonight. Looks in good form. If he can hold this will be fast. His Australian record is 48.87. He's going very well. Zudowitz is in second place, Abu Hamad, and then Beckenham. Robinson with a good lead. Abu Hamad being challenged for second. By on the outside, Beckenham. Robinson at the last. They're coming back at him. Abu Hamad. Robinson has to dig deep. Abu Hamad can't quite get to him. And Robinson did slow a little. It was 49.73 in the end. But he's won the race. Abu Hamad second and Beckenham third.
Well, just tired slightly. Here's Hollingsworth. let's hope he's okay. Robinson, he went at a breakneck pace and really did cost him, I guess, a fast time, but a good learning experience for him, Melinda. He now knows what it's like to go so fast, but his stride length was fantastic. We can see here as they come into the straight. Good run from Abu Hamed, and also a good run from the under-20 champion, Matt Beckenham, just on their outside.
Yes, you know, Rowan will need to run like that overseas. He'll be against the big competitors, and he was obviously out for that time tonight because that's what the difference made. But, you know, he's had a very successful season. He's got his Australian records, and I'm sure tonight he was very tired, but it's still a very gutsy effort.
Well, I'm sure he'll take up a position near the high jump fan, but at the moment, Rowan Robinson's with Terry Kennedy.
Well, Rowan Robinson, it has been one hell of a season for you, really. You went out at a lightning speed there. Were you chasing that qualifying time or the time you needed to really knock Tim Forsyth off the top of this Grand Prix overall result?
You know, it's a nice night up here, and after last week I'm not used to running in the dry, so I was just, you know, quite happy just to run and win that race. You know, the season was pretty much over last weekend. You know, I've got the AA and I've won nationals, so I'm on the plane. And as far as the money goes, well, you know, you can't be too greedy, can you?
Tim can have it, can he?
Well, he certainly can't have it. It's not, it's not all his yet.
Exactly, mate. What about this stadium? It's only a training track in 1982 for the Commonwealth Games. There's a good crowd in here, and it is a lightning fast track.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's nice and hard, which means fast. Although I didn't run fast tonight, I'm just a bit tired. It's been a hard season.
Well done, Rowan Robinson.
Thank you.
Good on you, Rowan. As we go to the discus, here's Visniari again, round 2, currently in first place with that excellent 62.50 to start proceedings. She has the AA standard. The Costian is chasing. They'll both be going to Atlanta, that's for sure. But can she improve?
I'm also wondering what Daniela feels at the moment, because Lisa Marie started training with her coach last year, so she's improved since training with her coach, so it'll be interesting to know what her feelings are about how well she's been going.
Just over 60 metres that time for Costian, but for Visionari. She remains in the lead. She'll be followed in the order by Costian.
In lane 2 from Victoria. Brilliant qualifier last week.
So she'll be looking for a big throw.
Natalie Harvey.
Daniela Costian.
60.74. Lane 3 from the ACT. Melanie Collins.
So there she is.
Lane 4 from the
30-year-old.
Sarah Jemison.
And there's the situation at the moment.
See how tight it is, Dave. 62.50 to 61.96 with 3 women. It's been the situation all year in the Grand Prix, not only in Australia but in New Zealand when they had some great meets.
It's been one of the highlights of the season for mine, the clashes. They really have swapped it around. Faumawina's had a victory. Visionari won the Nationals. Costian under pressure here. Well, that looks certainly better technically, and it's better in terms of distance as well for Costian.
11 and cross.
Well, 62.50 and 62.48, so 2 centimetres behind her training partner Visionari. In fact, that's the barest possible margin in the discus because they only measure in 2 centimetre lots. So the barest possible margin for Daniela Costian.
Stay with us after the break. The Grand Prix final continues right here on Sports Australia.
Welcome back to Sports Australia's coverage of the Optus Grand Prix final here from Brisbane. Some great action so far, including the fastest ever 1,500 metres ever run in Australia. And there it is, Kate Anderson, an Australian all-comers record and an Australian record, wiping Jenny Orr out of the record books. Great run, Bruce.
Outstanding performance, David. 4:07.03. Crowley 4:07.21. Both inside the Orr record that was set in 1972. And Chalmers also very fast for her at this stage of the season, considering the amount of work she's been doing. So, look, it was just a spectacular race with a spectacular finish. Into the discus situation, Costian having a great battle with Visionaria, and Fawamina, the New Zealander, who is in third place now after that last effort of Costian we saw, which got her up within 2 centimetres, but you can see how close it is. 62.50 leading, and Fawamina at 61.58, 61.98 I should say. So nothing in this.
Fawamina, of course, set a national record, a New Zealand national record of 64.04, and that's another good throw from the New Zealander. Just 21 years of age. Silver in the Commonwealth Games. 61.50, so she remains in third place, but outstanding. Anything around that distance is absolutely world class in the discus, and some great performances here tonight. So, women's discus, Visionari leads from Costian, 2 centimetres, half a metre behind Fawamina. And here comes the leader. We're in round 3, so plenty of action still to come in the discus. Visionari looking for the AA standard of 63.50. 63.90 her best. Set at Throwers Club meeting in Sydney before she went away to the World Championships in '95. Well, she's given that what for, and another good throw, well out over that 60-metre mark, and she's pumped up. And why not when you're in front and you're beating the Olympic bronze medalist? So there's the distance, 61.58.
She's improved it from 61.50. So stretching that lead slightly. So Daniela Costian to respond here. So Visionari has been just so consistent tonight.
You showed terrific courage at the Nationals last week, where you ran the whole way on your own with a big 80-metre win.
So that point situation for Costian. She's currently leading for the Athlete of the Year award. Kathy Freeman, in the way that the system is set up, is better placed tonight. If they both win their competitions, Freeman looks a certainty to go through and win the major prize, but Costian's been there and done that before on a couple of occasions.
We really have lifted the standard here. Certainly lifting the concentration on Costian's face.
Big hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Out there again, Dave. I mentioned 61.58 for Visionaria. It was 62.50 is the leading score for her at the moment, and Costian within a couple of centimetres, but that one probably just below 61.84. So still there, but not quite. I mean, to have 3 throws so close together. Now, 8.05 this season, and back home here.
He's jumped 7.98 3 times this season here in Brisbane. And just dragging the backside a fraction there. Really did stretch the legs. He likes the look of it. You know a long jumper likes his form when he rushes back to have a look at that tape. Really did stretch. And I think his feet would have been 10 or so centimetres ahead of the indent in the sand. So 7.87, so there's still a little bit of room for improvement for Jai Tarima. From the long jump to the 100 metres.
And the women will be coming onto the block shortly. And here's the start list. Bindi Gunshu in lane number 1 was the finalist in the National Championships. Jane Ovenden in 2 also. She finished 6th. In 3, Ellie Hutton, I thought, ran very well in Sydney in both the junior and senior. In 4, Jodie Lambert, beaten out of a place in the senior final. In 5, Lauren Hewitt, who was second behind Kathy Freeman. In 6, Sharon Cripps, the junior champion, who was third behind Kathy Freeman in the senior championship. In 7, Veronica Lee. Bit of a surprise she didn't make the final. And in 8, Melissa Medlicott.
Yes, it's a great lineup here again tonight, and I think the favourite probably going into this race is Lauren Hewitt, because she did come second at Nationals behind Kathy Freeman. It'll be interesting to see how she can handle that, because she probably realises that that's the case.
Yes, it's a funny one for her, but Linda. There's Sharon Cripps, who had the better of Lauren Hewitt earlier this year. She's about a year older, being 18, and Lauren being 17. But Lauren was second to Kathy. And we can see Lauren 2-1, 2-1. Second to Kathy at the Victorian Championships, then second behind Lambert at the NEC, but then stepped up and finished second at the Nationals. And now suddenly she's the favourite here for the first time in a major race this year.
Yeah, and it also shows how great the depth is here in athletics, especially the sprints, because we haven't had it before and it's looking very promising for the future.
Here's Jodie Lambert. She leads the Grand Prix points. She finishes in the top 3 here. She'll take the $1,000 on offer in each event. I think it's interesting in this race because Sharon Cripps also competing in her. She must fancy her chances after. Here's a close-up of Lambert. She'd be pretty keen to atone after a pretty poor run at the Nationals where she finished 4th. But for Cripps, in front of her home crowd, she'd certainly be feeling the pressure of being one of the favourites coming into this in front of her home crowd. She's had a great season.
Yeah, that's always a consideration because people think that, maybe with you being in front of them, it would fire you up. At the same time, can make you very nervous. So, but you never know.
And there's also normally more pressure. People want, your parents want to know what time it starts and whether they can get tickets, and your friends are ringing you up and wishing you luck. Which, if you're interstate and you're in a hotel, you don't have any of those problems.
Yeah, it saves those sort of hassles. But it'll be a mental thing today. I think the other problem with Jodie Lambert, the other at Nationals, was that she ran Kathy Freeman's race and not her own race, and I've known how to do that because I've done it before. So maybe she'll relax more, and she probably really wants to take this title out.
Well, she's 25 and the other two young women are 18 and 17 respectively. So she's a mature athlete who has made progress this year, no question about that. But Hewitt and Cripps are accelerating as well and have caught her. Hutton, I think, will run pretty well here. Lee should get out quickly, but they look to be the ones. We've seen some good sprinting tonight. Capobianco 10:40, and I think he's only in about that shape, so there's no reason they can't run a good time. I wonder if they could get close to around 11:50, something like that, which would be a breakthrough certainly for Cripps and Hewitt. They're at 11:66 and 11:62. No wind at all, is there?
No, it's looking perfect conditions. I know it's lovely down the track and a new track, so there's no excuses tonight for not producing a good time.
Cripps 3 from the left, and then Hewitt next to her, and Lambert inside again. Lambert got out reasonably well, I feel, right with Hewitt early, and Cripps, and going fast is Hutton, just leading. Lambert coming through on Hutton, though. Lambert's going to be a winner here, and Lambert does win. She is close for second and third. Ovenden right there with Hutton, Hewitt and Cripps. Got a reasonable start tonight, and that's been something she hasn't done on a couple of occasions. And once she was, I think, with Hewitt and also Cripps, you always felt like the older woman would come through. Yeah,
well, Ellie Hutton got out well then, and I think Jodie wanted to prove something. She would have been incredibly disappointed with the other week at Nationals, and she wanted to prove herself today. Ellie Hutton has done well there too. I mean, hard to split those girls up. I mean, she ran very well against Sharon Cripps in the under-20s, and she nearly actually beat her, so her form has really come through.
This has been a shot we've seen all year. Have a look at that, look of determination.
I have the glass blower's cheek. I don't know what it is. It's got the stressed cheeks.
Well, there's certainly eyes that would pierce any major competitor. Hutton brilliantly away, and great run from Ovenden on the inside. Still, Hewitt and Cripps both maintained their form, which is important when you're racing in that sort of quality, but very tight for second, third and fourth. Probably
Cripps second, and then just nothing between Hewitt and Hutton. Let's go down and join Jodie Lambert with Terry Kennedy.
Well, Jodie Lambert, obviously the National was a bit of a disappointment, but that's a nice way to answer any critics, isn't it?
Yeah, it's certainly a nice way to finish off the domestic season. Show them that, Nationals was a bit of a sham.
Was it just a bad weekend there because you'd had such a great season?
Yeah, I think I just blew it, really, I'd lost the plot completely and didn't get there, but, came back in the 200 okay, but the 100, no, it was a big disappointment.
You appeared really focused tonight. That start was probably one of your best of the season.
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to be one of my best of the season.
At least you're truthful.
Yeah.
But obviously things are coming together nicely for you now.
Yeah, Certainly, yeah, I was glad that I finished that one in front.
Always nice to finish the domestic season with a victory.
Yeah, it is.
Well done, Jodie Lambert, and also the youngsters are putting a little bit of pressure on Jodie Lambert and the elder statesmen, including Melinda Gates at the moment. Sharon Cripps, that's a very tight finish in that race. Did you get second there?
I would not have a clue where I got, to tell you the truth. I have no idea, but, you know, I missed the start and I ran a good race anyway, and I'm happy with it.
About 4 girls all hit the line together there. You locked in that battle, but obviously the season, you couldn't be more happy with it.
No, I'm very happy with it. You know, last year I've just improved so much since then, and I can't wait to see what I can do next year, and hopefully I'll be right up there.
The Nationals proved a great bonus for you, really, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, last year it wasn't like I didn't run that well, but I'm really happy with it and the way I've been running the whole season, so it's a good way to finish up.
Nice to come out in front of this good home crowd, really, a great atmosphere here at QE2.
Yeah, the conditions are great, and you know, it was good running in front of my family and my friends and stuff, so I'm happy.
Sharon Cripps, well done.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Sharon Cripps and Jodie Lambert. Let's go to the discus round for Daniela Costian, who's in second place, 62.48 against Visionaria at 62.50.
I haven't seen Daniela Costian give this much concentration to any of her throws this season. In fact, you'd say it's $10,000 worth of concentration. So here's Costian, and just seems to be around the 61.5 metre mark again. Bruce, you mentioned before she's in 61.60. In fact, she just seems to be falling away a little bit, leaning just a little off balance. So she'll remain in second place.
Another outstanding Queensland athlete, Jai Tarima. His first long jump was 7.87, so he's around about the mark. He's done 7.98 on a number of occasions this year. 8.05 his best. Let's see if he can get right out to 8 metres again. It's pretty close. It looks slightly better than the first one. He's around the 7.90 area, I think, getting up towards 8.
Speed the key on the runway for Jai Tarima. Just went a little bit sideways there. 7.81. So he'll just have to go back and compose himself and prepare for his third round attempt.
She liked it a lot, didn't he, where he wasn't quite so enthusiastic. Now back here, this is the New Zealander.
Aaron Langdon, the Kiwi.
He's been good, hasn't he, David? In Sydney and again at the Nationals, where he was very competitive against Tarima. He's around the 7.80 mark normally.
Different style of jumper to Tarima. A lot shorter, more compact technique, and that certainly won't be one to remember for Aaron Langdon.
Did 7.88 in Sydney when he was second behind Tarima, when Tarima had his big one this year, and then in poor conditions last weekend, wasn't too far away. Red flag, he went over the mark, the plasticine mark. There's the terrific crowd here. We're right at the top of this stand. We're in altitude training tonight, aren't we, Melinda?
We certainly do. I think I could do quicker than 11.6 up here tonight.
There's no doubt. And a bit of a tailwind too, David. Everything's happening up here. We've got the best of conditions, so to speak.
Well, we've certainly got a bird's eye view. There's no doubt about that.
Now, the result in Langdon's result was a foul, so he's currently 8th after his first round effort, but he hasn't hit it yet because he'd be the second favourite behind Tarima here. Langdon would, so nothing much happening for him right at the moment. Now this looks like it's number 85, and that's Bernard Chi of Queensland.
Outstanding young junior, Bernard Chi. 7.28 so far tonight, but one of a group of very, very good young junior long jumpers from Queensland. Great opportunity for these junior athletes to compete in front of such a large crowd. Well, double hitch kick.
He's missed the board, Dave, but it's going to be a foul.
You can see there the red flag going up, but geez, looks very promising, Bernard Chi. Start at the school's knockout championship. There's jumping Jimmy Miller and Peter Winter. They certainly clinched Australian titles. Foul for Bernard Chi.
So let's now go to the 200 metres for men. And the start list here, big field again. Capobianco will be the favourite. He's already won the 100 metres. Peter Crane in 1, Brian Skinner 2, David Baxter the junior 3, Paul Pearce another junior 4. Darryl Walson, who ran very fast at this track in the state championships in 5. Dean Capobianco, the Australian champion, 6. Paul Green down to run in lane 7. Glenn McCarthy ran well at the Nationals in lane number 8. And in lane 9, not to be outdone, as Mark Ladbroke, who was second in the national championships behind Capobianco.
Yes, I think Capobianco ran a good time here tonight. I'm interested to see, actually, because of the guys at the state championships ran 20:30. So let's see what these guys can do here tonight.
Well, it's been proved that you can run very fast here. I think it's great that Capo's been able to run a couple of races in a night. He hasn't been able to do that for some time, so obviously he's back in form. There's the national 400 metre champion, Mark Ladbroke. PB of 21.04. Ran a good race at the Nationals. So just concentrating on the 200 here, he'd hope to dip under the 21-second mark.
So we go inside Ladbroke. And we'll find Glenn McCarthy and Dean Capobianco and also Paul Green. Green is out there. There he is. So he ran a 400, about an hour ago, I guess. Be feeling a bit in the old legs, I would think. It was a tough 400, wasn't it?
Yeah, especially when he was saying that he felt as though he's raced too much. So he's obviously using this 200 as a training session. But then at the same time, Paul has produced a lot of great 200s, so he may pull one out tonight.
Well, Commonwealth finalist way back in Auckland, just as a teenager. He's second in the national titles in 95. There's Capobianco. 20.18 in Stuttgart in 93.
Yeah, second fastest Australian ever. Got to go back to Peter Norman in the rarefied atmosphere of Mexico City in one of the all-time famous races behind Tommy Smith and Smith and Carlos when he ran 20.06. Probably the most famous 200 ever run, actually. Smith, Norman and Carlos. And Capobianco is the second fastest Australian we've ever had. There's Greenie. John Dinan, I remember, in Canberra running 20.29 one night. And then we've got Brimacombe at 20.30. 142, Glenn McCarthy, who was 6th in the national championships, the 25-year-old. Darryl Walson's an interesting one here in lane 5. He's inside Dean Capobianco. He was in that super fast race behind Brimacombe.
He ran 20.79. In fact, Walson leads the Grand Prix here. Matthew Code, the New Zealander, leads, but he actually broke his foot. There's Walson. Leads the Grand Prix. Capo needs to finish 2 places ahead with double points on offer here in the Grand Prix to take the money. So a battle within a battle.
$1,000 for each of the individual events and the $10,000 prize overall. And there's $5,000 bonus can be picked up, so you can get $16,000 at the end of tonight. It's a good pay packet, isn't it? So they're just waiting for a moment to come up. You can see a good crowd on the back straight. The main grandstand of the now called ANZ Stadium as we come back into our grandstand here. That's full tonight, and I'll be thrilled to bits with the turn up here.
I think also what's great with having this money, it does add incentive, and you know, we know overseas that a lot of these great athletes who are out for money, it can also bring about very good times.
Well, I'd love to see a World Championships with high prize money. I think we should have it. We will get it. It's got to be different to the Olympics. At Wimbledon, they don't play for the honour and glory. What would be better than a men's 100 or a women's 100, Melinda, with $300,000 on the end of it, first prize? Boy.
I'll be training a hell of a lot
Wouldn't you
harder,
be moving?
I bet.
Let's see how Capo goes here. 4 from the outside. Seemed to get out pretty well, Capobianco. In fact, I reckon he's best out. Green away a bit slowly. Walson going well. Capo's run a very good bend. So's Ladbroke out in lane number 9. Capobianco clearly in front of Ladbroke, and then came Walson and Green coming home. Capo flying away though. Crane going pretty well in lane 1. Capobianco first, good time. It's his best this year. Second, Green coming home very strongly and pretty tight for third. Capo's getting into shape, isn't he?
Absolutely, fantastic run. He takes the Grand Prix cash. Walson fading into the straight. Crane running well on the inside. So is Green and Ladbroke, but he's back in form. Dean Capobianco, a great way to end the domestic season. He'll go off to America probably in April or May.
Yeah, it is great to see him in form. I mean, you can just see it in his technically. He's just gliding across the ground, and as you said, David, he has backed up twice tonight, and he's performed well the second time. So he looks really positive for Atlanta.
I think the only difference between the capo in 96 and perhaps that 93 is explosiveness out of the blocks. Really did burst off the bend well there.
It's a good double, both Melinda and Dave, 10.40 and 20.59 in the one night. Terry, to put it together like he has is going to give him great heart going into Atlanta.
Right. Well, huffing and puffing again, you're right, Dean Capobianco, but obviously you are in good form at the moment. That was pretty quick.
Oh, it's really getting there, mate. Got to be stoked with the way things are going, but like I said before, just relaxing with it, and it's going well.
Is that the key coming to this, the end of the domestic season? Obviously bigger things in mind now.
Well, yeah, you can't, from now on, you just got to get faster and faster month by month, because the game's only 3 months away. It's not a lot of time, and as I found out, just spending 2 years sitting back and watching people race, just the time flies.
I was about to mention that couple of years you were plagued by injury, but obviously personally for you, in an Olympic year, great to be coming right at the right time.
Oh, absolutely. Mate, I can only go back to 93 and try and go one step further and better that 5th place in Stuttgart.
Dean Capobianco, we wish you all the best in Atlanta. Well done.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Dean Capobianco there with Terry Kennedy. Now the women's 100-metre result, 11.58 for Jodie Lambert. Ellie Hutton did get second, 11.68. It's very close to her best time, by the way. Sharon Cripps, 11.68, and Lauren Hewitt, 11.69. So we had a lot of women getting very close to the best times they've run.
It is
I've got
a PB.
Hutton at 11.73, her best prior to that, so that's her best. So good results, left, right and centre. Let's go back to the discus, Dave. This has been a tremendous competition between the big three, Vizanaria, Fauamina, and I have trouble with her name, don't I? And Costian. I wasn't going to forget her, Daniela.
Well, here's Visionari. She's leading. We're into the business end now, round 5. So this and one more throw for Visionari. Just again, perhaps got a little bit off balance, and you can see falling short of the 60-metre mark. So that's not going to extend her lead, but she maintains the lead by the barest possible margin. You can see they're just off balance, 58.36. So Costian will be next into the ring, and really now under pressure. If she finishes second here tonight, she'll still take the overall discus lead in the Grand Prix.
Just noticed Vizanaria there signalling to her coach that without being too naive. What is the situation? I mean, I can remember in Moscow in 1980, as we see Costian looking on and psyching herself up. In 1980, there was lots of reports about the Russian pole vaulters getting some assistance from coaches and etc. Is there still a rule in athletics that you can't be assisted?
There is. You're not allowed to take any electronic devices, so Walkmans or radios or televisions, etc. There's the figures for Costian. She needs 62.50, 62.48 so far. You can talk to your coach, or your coach can talk to you. You're just not allowed to actually walk over and have a discussion. So a lot more liberal than it used to be. You certainly can't take a video out and watch your own performance. But here's someone who's watching a performance in her mind at the moment, Daniela Costian. She'll be going through the motions of the discus. 5th round. Well, that looked better. She certainly planted that left foot, and that is a big throw from Costian.
A big throw there from Daniela Costian.
Much better technique that time. Watch here the technique of Daniela Costian. Watch the front foot. Locks into position there, anchors down, and let's fly with the big right hand. Well, let's wait for the distance. 63.00. She's into the lead. Great throw from Daniela Costian, and we'll be back with more action here from Brisbane after the break.
After the break, the Grand Prix final continues here on Sports Australia.
Welcome back to the Optus Grand Prix final. Well, some great action so far. Rowan Robinson's dash for the cash has come to an end, I'd say. There he is, 49.72. He got the points, Bruce, but the time not fast enough, so we now turn our attention to Tim Forsyth in the high jump.
Beckenham, what a breakthrough for him, David, 50.03.
Welcome back to the State Athletics facility here in Brisbane. Well, there's been some great action so far, although Rowan Robinson's dash for cash has come to an end, I think. He got the points, but the time not fast enough.
Great time by the third man there, the 19-year-old Matt Beckenham. His previous best, 50.92. He's gone to 50.03. That's the 400-metre hurdles. Now in the 200 metres, the result there, Capobianco 20.60 rounded out. Green, good run too, 20.88. Both excellent runs, and Ladbroke in sparkling form at 21.01. Let's go to the discus. This has been a brilliant competition between this young Australian, Lisa Marie Visionaria. This is the final throw for each of them. Daniela Costian to follow, and the New Zealander, Fawamina's been right there with them, but Visionaria, who led early, needs a big one here to take over from Costian.
Well, of course, Costian went into the lead just in the last round. She follows Visionary in the order. And I'm pretty well, she had one throw that was under 60 metres, certainly, but outstanding throwing from Lisa Marie Visionary. Really has been a great night for the discus throwers here. 61.64, so she'll have to be content with second place at least.
So many over 61 tonight for Visionary, and also for Costian. You can hear the official yelling it out, 6.164. Daniela coming into the ring. Well, it's her last throw. Let's see if she can improve. She held first position over Lisa Marie. She can't lose that to her, 63 metres. The double A standard is 63.50. See if Costian could do that here. There's no question she'll be in Atlanta. She was the bronze medalist in Barcelona. Went one better in Stuttgart at the World Championships in '93 for second place, and then gold medal at the Commonwealth Games. Just slipped a little last year with an injury. Made the final, but was never a factor in Gothenburg.
Immense concentration on the face of Costian. She really wants the double A standard. Again, a better throw from Costian. Not quite as good as her previous one, 63.00. But she'll now have the opportunity, and there's the distance, 62.26. So she remains in the lead, but not the double A.
And we'll get the final result, 63 metres for Costian. There's an area 62.50 and Fawamina 61.98. So Costian has to really hope that Poetica or somebody can come over the top of Freeman if she's to get the $10,000. 110 metre hurdles for men. This is going to be one of the great highlights tonight. There he is, the world record holder, Colin Jackson, the Welshman, who runs for Great Britain at the Olympic Games. We look at the start list. We'll see the Jacksons drawn alongside Australian record holder Kyle van der Kuip. It's Ashley Marnie, Chris Ingram, Paul Gray, the very good other Brit, then Colin Jackson, Kyle van der Kuip, David Cooper and John Morrison, the next two best Australians behind van der Kuip, and then Corey Tarima in lane number 8. He's great to watch, isn't he, Jackson?
Yeah, he certainly is, and he's been great over our domestic season. We've been very lucky to have him at quite a few of the Grand Prix, but unfortunately last weekend he couldn't compete at the Nationals, and apparently it was because he had a sore adductor muscle, but obviously he was just being very careful. It was a wet night and it was cold, so he didn't want to go and ruin his chances for Atlanta. And then we have our one and only Kyle van der Kuip, who's been in great form, and I'm sure he'll be very happy having Colin here tonight.
Well, we talked of performance progressions, and this man's form is on the rise. He was great at the National Championships, 13.54, Melbourne 13.51. It was interesting, Jackson said that he panicked when he felt something in his groin in the heat at the National Championships, but after a couple of days rest and intensive treatment, he's back here tonight and he'll run very fast. Great cheer too for the world record holder.
That's so important. I mean, it's great for the people here of Queensland, I said, to see this champion in action, because he may be a gold medal winner later on this year, and we can all sit down and watch him at the Olympic Games.
And he does need that Olympic gold medal. Just to round it off, he was second as a young man behind Roger Kingdom in 1988, and then got it all wrong in Barcelona in 92, but in between times he's been the dominant man, certainly in Stuttgart in 93 where he set his world record. He's won a couple of European titles in 90 and split in 94 Helsinki, and has dominated the Commonwealth, hasn't he, in Auckland and again in Victoria last year, but does need that Olympic championship. He deserves it, but for him not to win this time would probably put him out of business. So let's see what he does here. Just get the feeling it's going to be fast. The fastest time run in Australia is 13:24. Jackson running that in Melbourne.
Well, he came to the track yesterday and had a walk around and requested that it be swept. There's a lot of loose rubber on the track, and they've swept that away, and so super fast conditions for Jackson.
And Van der Kuip looks like he's in about 13:4 shape, maybe even better. We're about to find out. Jackson normally brilliant early. He leads them into the first. Got over it, but did knock it down. Van der Kuip second grey. Look at Jackson flying. Van der Kuip going with him. Jackson's up on Van der Kuip. Van der Kuip running a mighty race. Jackson goes through. It's the fastest ever in Australia if it stands up. And Van der Kuip has no doubt run his fastest time also ever in this country.
Well, 13.40 is his fastest ever, wind assisted in Perth. Before Christmas, it was a fantastic run. In fact, I got the feeling that Jackson was away slowly. We see it here, but it wasn't Jackson away slowly. It was Van der Kuip away very fast, and he's with the world record holder.
You're right there, David. He did get away very quickly, and I'm sure Colin could see him there, and he stuck with him all the way, and it's been fabulous because it's drawn Kyle to a very fast time. I'd be interested to see what it is.
Well, 13.22 and 13.35 are the official time, so it's an all-comers record. Our second tonight, the fastest 110-metre hurdles ever in Australia, and look at the form of the world record holder.
And it is the fastest time Van der Kuip's ever run in this country. It's faster than he had run before the World Championships last year, where he kept taking that Australian record down to 13:29. He's nearly there amongst the big boys, isn't he? He's not far away now.
Not at all. I mean, that's an awesome run. We have to remember, too, that he was injured earlier in the year with a hamstring problem, and, you know, he's come out there and, 30 would you think?
13:35.
Oh, 35, yeah, so, sorry.
No, we just got that relayed through. It's a fabulous run. I mean, 13:29, his Australian record. That was when he was absolutely flying in Gothenburg. And what about Jackson? I mean, to run 13:23 in his off-season, they're going to be just thrilled in Britain when they hear this result overnight, that their man is in tip-top form 4 months before the Atlanta Olympic Games. Alan Johnson was tremendous last year, the American, but I think if you're a bookmaker, you'd have Jackson as the favourite, wouldn't you?
I'm sure the Americans are quite scared now, or they will be tomorrow when they wake up and find the result.
Well, from a breakthrough there for Van der Kuip, within touching distance of the world record holder. We go to the long jump. Here's jumping Jai Tarima. He says, come on, home crowd. I've only jumped 787 so far, and I really would like to go over 8 metres for you here tonight. Fast on the runway. Just stretching a little bit. I think he's forcing it just a fraction. You can see from the landing position there, the feet have hit the sand and the backside has come through closer to the pit. So technically not quite there for Tarima tonight, but I was in that sand this morning and it's very comfortable. And if you just, nice Coca-Cola would be nice. Thanks, Jai.
Should we ask why he was in the sand?
Why you were in there, David? Well, certainly not jumping.
Purveyor of fine pit filling to have it. Here are our two hurdlers. And just getting back to this performance, Van der Kuip will take a lot of heart from this. He really was within touching distance across the line of the world record holder for the first time in his career. It's the closest he's ever been to Jackson.
Okay, let's go from Jackson and Van der Kuip to the high jump. Tim Forsyth, who is the favourite to win the $10,000 Athlete of the Year prize that's on offer tonight. His summary of the season, the only time he's been beaten actually was in Sydney at the National Championships. Perth, Sydney, Hobart, Melbourne on the Grand Prix. Bonus points, plenty of them. Has done 2:33 this year. His best is 2:35, the Australian record. Third in Barcelona. Twice a silver medalist at the World Juniors. One of them an absolutely brilliant performance with Steve Smith. Now 2:19 the height here, so he really shouldn't have any trouble at all, and he does not. But Chris Anderson's his worry here. Anderson beat him in Sydney at Homebush in very difficult conditions, but did get a scalp.
And you get the feeling that Anderson's had a couple of good attempts at 2:31 this season. He's jumped 2:27 consistently, and when the bar's been raised to that next height, he's struggled. Here's David Fraser, who's jumped 2:20 in interclub competition in Melbourne, had a shocker at the Nationals, only jumped 2:05. So a little bit to work on here for Fraser.
So everyone's appreciated your great run.
So 2:19, approaching his best, just 1 centimetre off that personal best for David Fraser. Trains with Tim Forsyth under coach Sandro Bassetto. Yeah, slower on the runway, Fraser, and looked like he was struggling during that approach, so a miss for him.
As you say, had a real disappointment at the National Championships, though. But hopefully he can get his form together here. But Forsyth looked good at 2:19, as you would expect. Hurdles are being lowered for the women's event, which is not too far away. We saw great hurdling by Jackson a moment ago. Gee, Terry, that was some sort of a race, wasn't it? Colin Jackson and Kyle Vanderkuyt.
Well, Colin Jackson gave us a bit of a shock at the Nationals when you failed to come out for that final. It was a scare for the fans. What about yourself?
It was a bit of a frustrating time for myself too. I was a bit unsure exactly what was happening. My groin was a bit tight, and I was thinking, oh, it's cold here in Sydney. I don't really pull anything and make any great damage.
Yeah.
I was fortunate that my physio was there, so he could work on me straight away, and I was lucky that I was able to run tonight. I was pleased.
Well, talking about conditions, a nice warm night here, a nice slight tail breeze, so 13:22, that was a good time.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. As I say, because I was a bit nervous with my leg and I wasn't sure how much force I was going to actually be able to put through it, but I was pleased that it went well today. I'm looking forward to next year, or next summer, and pushing myself out there again.
Now, at the halfway mark, there was a young Aussie guy not too far off you. You're helping him, no doubt, being out here, just being out here.
Yeah, he said to me earlier, he said he thinks the videos I've lent him have inspired him a bit. He ain't having the other one. But no, he's performed well today, 13.35. I'm very happy that he's progressing nicely now. It's a great time.
Now, the only thing left for you, an Olympic gold medal, wouldn't that be nice?
It would be absolutely delightful. I'd love that and hope to return with one.
Colin Jackson, well done.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
What a great interview there with Colin Jackson. A tremendous interview with Terry Kennedy. He is one of the most agreeable world champions you could ever meet, and he has been working hard with Kyle Vanderkuyt. And Kyle's just strolled over and joined Terry Kennedy. Terry, another great run by the Australian.
It was a great run, Bruce, no doubt, and he was right on the heels of Colin Jackson there, not too far away, Kyle.
No, it was an awesome feeling to race that close to Colin. I knew he'd get out, so I said, let's get out tonight and go with him. I got out well, and I could feel him all the way, so I just knew, keep going, keep going, keep going. And that sort of time definitely showed to me, there it is.
Now, early in this season, you had your own share of injuries, but certainly the second half of this domestic season, you've been on fire.
Well, definitely been motivated all season. I mean, the injury was a setback. I didn't get to race Colin earlier, but I was motivated all the way through, dedicated to get back, and it just showed, I think, tonight how fast I can get back and how ready I am for Europe.
Your fastest time at home here, what can you do in Europe in the lead up to Atlanta?
Well, that's my fastest I've ever run this time of the year, so to produce that was the aim, and then take another step up towards Europe. I'm hoping for 13:20s, 13 in the teens. You'll be looking at the final if I can do that, so I'm excited.
And you should be too, yes. Good luck at the Olympics, Kyle Vanderkuyt.
Kyle Vanderkuyt there as we go to Samantha Farquharson, the winner of the National Championships last year, out here training with the Colin Jackson group. And the start list for the women's 100-metre hurdles. Lane 3 is vacant. Jane Fleming, it was kept for her, but she wanted a good training session on Tuesday. I'm not sure if she got that or not, but she decided not to run here tonight. Rachel Links, Deborah Edwards. Let's go to the high jump for a moment. We'll come back to this 100 hurdles. Well, this is interesting. This is Anderson's third and final attempt at 2:19. And this has a big bearing on the $10,000 first prize, because Anderson's the main competition here for Tim Forsyth. Now, both Garrett and Forsyth are over at 2:19. Chris Anderson, the Australian champion last weekend, looking down the barrel. Live action here, 2:19. He's gone. That's disappointing.
Anderson out. Forsyth, for the fourth time, the Grand Prix male champion. For the third time, Robinson second. So,
well, what about if Garrett beats him?
Well, true. We shouldn't talk too early, should I?
No, don't jump your gun too soon. I mean, he's certainly shortened up again. There's Samantha Farquharson, who goes from 3 from the outside. This event, 160 is Simone Purvis, and 159. Nicole Gale's done well, Melinda. She came through and actually was second behind Samantha in Sydney.
Yeah, she's been going well this season. She's been going from strength to strength, and she's always looking incredibly fired up before the race, so she'll give Samantha a run for money, but I really think that Samantha has it pretty well wrapped up.
Should be on for a fast time. Oh, got left there. Did Farquharson completely. Gale beat them out with Hegney. Now Farquharson going, and also Purvis. Farquharson just shading Purvis and Gale. 2 flights to go over, not going to be much in it. Farquharson's going to win 13.74 after a dreadful start. She got left of the blocks, didn't she?
I don't think she mustn't have heard it. I mean, that was ridiculous. Either that, she may have thought it was a false start. I'm not too sure what was going on there.
Well, a shocking start. She's shaking her head. She just couldn't believe it. Obviously, just concentration elsewhere. Good run from Gale. Personal best is only 13.87. She's not going to be too far away from that here.
And Purvis too.
Just didn't quite run off the last hurdle, Nicole Gale, but Purvis a good run.
Have a look at that. Actually, good effort when you think that Samantha could have lost everything there, but she held it together, didn't she?
Yeah, I think she was aggressive more than anything. And once you get like that, I know I've been there, done that, and you just want to kick some butt after that.
Well, she did that, no doubt. Actually, the time wasn't too bad when you consider what she lost. Let's go to the high jump now. This is 2:23 the height, and Garrett, let's see if he can get over and keep the pressure on Tim Forsyth.
Well, you're right when, Bruce, you said that Garrett is still in the competition. Interesting for Forsyth. We'll just watch Garrett take his attempt here, and it's a fouler. So failure for Garrett, plenty of action in the high jump, and Terry Kennedy's has Nicole Purvis. Simone Purvis.
Some plenty of action just in the 100-metre hurdles, and Simone Purvis. A big day for you, hasn't it been? You were named in the Junior World Championship team for Australia this morning, and now a good second tonight.
Yeah, I'm really pleased, and I'm just great. It's great that I've been named in the team, and I'm really happy I ran really well tonight.
Everything's come together for you this domestic season, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think I'm running really well. Yeah, I'm pleased.
We can confirm you are running really well. What about chasing Samantha Farquharson home all the time? Is that a help or a hindrance?
It's great. I mean, you've got to chase the whole way, and it just helps you.
You seem to run your own race out there tonight, though. Not brilliant over that first 50 metres, but came home extremely well.
Yeah, I just didn't panic, and I just kept going, and I was all right.
Simone Purvis, good luck at the World Junior Championships coming up.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
So the result with Jackson, 13.22. It's the fastest time ever run in this country. Van der Kuyp, 13.35. Paul Gray, 13.85. John Morrison going great guns. Now, that's the best time for him, I would think, 13.92. That might be the first time that John Morrison has been inside 14 seconds. Now, behind him was David Cooper. So Morrison seems to have got the better of Cooper. In fact, his best was 14.08, Morrison, going into that.
Great run from John Morrison. David Cooper ran well at the Nationals, but it slipped behind here. But all the action in front with Jackson and Van der Kuyp. One of the highlights tonight is the men's javelin. Gavin Lovegrove, twice Commonwealth Games bronze medalist, but it's an extraordinarily tough event at the Commonwealth level with Backley and Hill.
Yes, the big Brits, aren't they? He is in great form, Dave. He's broken his own New Zealand record this year, getting it up to 86.80. And that's pretty good. That's out at about 78, 79. He's not completely happy, but we saw Andrew Curry last week, just down a little. He was complaining of a couple of sore spots. I'm just not sure if he's in the 84 shape that he was in. He and Lovegrove had some great duels in New Zealand this year.
Absolutely, and 79.32 for Lovegrove. So shaking his head, but it's a pretty solid throw in the first round.
Commonwealth Games medalist Samantha Farquharson from Great Britain.
So next on the runway in the javelin, well, there's Andrew Curry, and he is next on the runway. There is Grand Prix points. Zatopek was his only aberration. He was very ill that night. In fact, probably shouldn't have thrown. He very off colour. Adrian Hatcher, the Victorian, got his measure here, but the athletes have the opportunity to drop their worst score. So 7 bonus points gives him 41 in total. He's not going to touch Forsyth for the overall prize.
84.92 is his national record.
He's probably just gone off a little bit of form, as you mentioned, Bruce, after the his big throws in Perth. Spent a little bit of time training. that was the major part of his season. Won the Nationals, but should be a good competition between him and Lovegrove tonight. So 74-36.
So from the javelin, back to the high jump. Garrett at 2:23, third attempt. So if he does miss this, it would set Forsyth up with the $10,000. He has missed it, and I think we can safely say now that Tim Forsyth is going to win the $10,000 as the overall Grand Prix champion athlete. Tremendous crowd here tonight. Beautiful conditions. Have come out in their, well, in their thousands. It's not a huge stadium. It doesn't hold the same amount of people as the meeting in Melbourne at Olympic Park, but big crowd, and they're really enjoying the action. We've seen Australian records tonight, a famous record going. Here's Forsyth, speaking of famous things in athletics. This man is an Olympic medalist as a teenager. Now the bar's gone up to 2:28, and this will be his first attempt at that height, 2:28. It's Australian record. He's held it for a while now, 2:35. He'd love to take that again. Saying earlier, Dave, he's 2 World Junior silver medals. That duel with Smith in Seoul in 1992 after the Olympics, when Tim had got the medal and Smith had missed out, Steve Smith. It was one of the really great competitions in athletics, certainly at junior level.
Well, Smith came back and jumped 2:36, which is extraordinary for... They really have had some great winners at the World Juniors. We'll look forward to that at the World Junior Championships here. Sotomayor won the first one in Athens.
Yes,
Smith.
Probably gone on to be the best ever Sotomayor, I think. Certainly he's the world record holder. He's the 8-foot man and Olympic champion.
Of course, Forsyth had a great battle with Smith at the Commonwealth Games on a countback or a jump off. Smith falling over on one of the crucial jumps and smashing his watch. Really put paid to the competition, but Forsyth took that one there. So he's one of the men in the Australian team that really does rise to the occasion.
Should get this if he's in good form. It's an impressive height, but one that he's capable of doing. I'd say when he's switched on, Dave, and fit, he should get this height 8 times out of 10 when he's really keen.
I think what he'd be looking for here is a first attempt clearance. So important at the major championships to get these heights on the first attempt. The countback situation often makes a difference. As he well knows, in Barcelona, cleared the same height as the winner, 2.34 meters. But on hits and misses, Forsyth took the bronze there. So wants to clear this on the first attempt. Well, Bruce, he may well be on tonight because it was a good clearance for Forsyth. You really do have an inkling about the high jumpers. A couple of strides out. He looked good there, very bouncy, and a good clearance.
Start list for the men's 800. Michael Hayne in 2, Grant Creamer 3, Martin Byron in good form 3, Vincent Malaquin, the outstanding Kenyan 4, and Sammy Langat, who's a 143 man in 5 and has won the last 2 national championships. Heath Fitzpatrick was a 2nd man home and 1st Australian at the Nationals in 6. Joseph Ishii 7, Byron Goodwin of Canada in lane 8, Scott Peterson in lane 8 as well, as we go over the page, along with James McIntyre and Jai Thomas. So we're running 11 here, big field in the 800. There's Sammy Langat, as I said, last couple of Australian championships. He has run 143.84 and was the African champion in 1993. World-class athlete. Now this man has a chance, I think, tonight to at least get the B standard of 147.5. Heath Fitzpatrick, his last 3 runs, Dave, have been 47.82, 47.64, 47.63. He's been closing in. The B standard here is 47.5. The pace will be set up tonight. They really can do it tonight.
Well, he ran a great race at the National Championships, Fitzpatrick. You got cut off by McIntyre, squeezed out Goodwin, and then they were back on top of Fitzpatrick. There he is, 169. But he managed to recompose and finished on very strongly to take the silver medal behind Langat. So a clear run here tonight, and he may well be able to pose the fast time. There's Byron Gordon, surprised at his first run in Australia and Sydney, took the win there. Scott Peterson, well, he's one of the characters. He wears the boxer shorts every time. Free running Victorian McIntyre and Jai Thomas, the young Western Australian, rounding out the field. So there's plenty of chances. Always an open race, but Langat will certainly go to the front.
Ishia's got a chance here to place highly. There's 200, Sammy Langat. Ishia went too early, I feel, along with McIntyre in that national championship. Fitzpatrick got held up with Byron a bit at a critical stage. So look for a pretty quick first lap. Should be around 51 and a half, 51, something like that. Let's hope they can break through here. Fitzpatrick, a big chance, I think, with Ishia to get through and get a good time. Langat normally likes to run right up near the front. And he's come out very, very hard, as you can see. Sammy Langat leading out. Goodwin and Peterson coming across with Ishia in 4th placing. Malakun's about 5th and Byron. They're just coming into the screen, but it's been a fast first couple of hundred.
We'll have a look at the time here. It's around 23 seconds, so it's very fast. Super quick, in fact.
Fitzpatrick's about 5 from the back. In fact, one of the athletes has pulled out. I think it might have been Kramer at the back, so one of the outsiders. But look at Langat really going here. Peterson trying to hang on 2nd, Goodwin 3rd, Ishia 4th, Malakun 5th, then Byron, Fitzpatrick, then McIntyre, and Hayne and Thomas. Now the split here is going to be very, very fast, 50 point. And Langat leads, Peterson 2nd, 3rd Goodwin, 4th Malaquin looks to be going well. 5th Ishia, then Byron, Fitzpatrick behind them. Langat's worked hard. He's really given the opposition a chance to run him down here tonight.
He has indeed, and I like the chances of those along the back. They've had the perfect set. Byron and Malaquin on the inside. Martin Byron moving up. Goodwin, Ishia. Peterson still running the race of his life too on the outside.
Malaquin chopped off there, can't quite get through. Now he's about to get out. No, got chopped off again behind Langat. Peterson keeps him in. Goodwin, Byron, Fitzpatrick's coming hard in about 5th place. Langat leads by 1.5 meters from Peterson. Goodwin. Fitzpatrick's coming home well. He'll get a place. Could he get Langat? He might, I reckon. Look at Fitzpatrick flying with Byron. The young Aussie goes up to Langat. Look at the clock. Langat responds. Fitzpatrick draws to him. Does he get him? Yes, he does. And gets the qualifier.
Well, it's been the first time that Sammy Langat's been beaten in Australia. He came out last year and won every race. He's won every race this year until now. Heath Fitzpatrick, only 20 years of age. And have a look at the eyes on Sammy Langat. Eyes and teeth only. He kept form well, Fitzpatrick, and goes to the line. They're still locked together. Who's got the best dip? It's Fitzpatrick. Great run.
Big breakthrough here, the times. Now he gets the B qualifier and just misses the A. I just wonder, he's got to be a chance now to go to the... Burns got the A qualifier though, hasn't he, which makes it a bit tricky. But he's making great breakthrough, isn't he?
146.69, so it's definitely a personal best. 147.64, so nearly a second off his best.
And nearly the A qualifier, which is 146.5. It's a fantastic performance. Gee, what a great race it was. It really thrilled the crowd here tonight. A Queenslander, Terry, getting up in the last stride.
Yes, a hometown victory. And I think we put Heath Fitzpatrick in our black book after the Nationals. We said you copped a lot of checks there. But obviously tonight you had the nice sit on Sammy Langat.
I just couldn't believe it. A dream run, even though I was back a bit early. Went through 51 the quickest I've gone through my life. I've never hurt so much in the last 50 metres. But I was just digging in. I just wanted to beat Sammy. He's number 4 in the world. I'm just so happy.
Well, that's the first time he's ever been beaten in this country, and you've got his scalp, so that's nice.
It's second, actually. The Canadian beat him, but I'm the first Australian to, and I just can't believe it's a huge PB. I just missed out on an A qualifier, but I mean, hopefully I'll get a trip to Europe now and I can get it there. I'm stoked.
Do you think you put a little bit of pressure on our Olympic selectors overnight? They've got to sit down and pick this team. That was a great run.
Well, I'd like to think so, but this selection criteria is clear cut. Hopefully they'll send me to Europe and I can get a qualifier there. They have the faith in me.
Heath Fitzpatrick, well done, mate.
Thanks a lot.
20 years of age only. Fitzpatrick, go to the 100 hurdles result. Farquharson 13.74, Purvis 13.81. Gale just missing her best. 13.87 was her best. She did 13.88. Let's go to Tim Forsyth after that 100 hurdles. This is 2.31. We've seen him in great form so far tonight at 2.28. First attempt. His best this season is 2.32. In Sydney, he's got it. Not only has he got it, Dave, he's got it with a little bit to spare. Melinda nodding her head. You obviously liked it too. He's going well, isn't he?
Certainly is, and you know, he would have been very disappointed with the Nationals. It would have been a while since he's been beaten here in Australia, and He looked so smooth and he cleared it by heaps.
Well, just discussing with the coach now what height to take. 234 or 235, I think, Forsyth. He may put it up to 235. So from Forsyth to Andrew Curry in the men's javelin. Into the fourth round here, still stuck on 74.36, round 3, sorry. 79.32 is Lovegrove in the lead. It's getting a little bit close to the white line at the front, and that's certainly not one of the best throws for Andrew Curry. Here's the replay here. He just runs out a little bit of room, Andrew Curry. So a foul, steps out the front, and remains in second place.
So Forsyth going well. Curry struggling a bit. Seen some Australian records tonight, some big personal breakthroughs. Women's 400 not too far away. Kathy Freeman, Tim Forsyth wrapped up the $10,000. Will Kathy Freeman wrap it up here with a win? Renee Poetschka, the big danger. Let's have a look at the point summary. Kathy in Adelaide getting 9 points. In Hobart, where she ran 50.46 in her first serious 400 metres for the season. And then in Melbourne, 49.85, a whack of bonus points. Total 41. Let's go back and see that historic performance where she became the first Australian to break 50 seconds. It was at the NEC meet in Melbourne. So from the inside, Naylor, Hannigan, Poetschka. Freeman didn't seem to get a great start, by the way. Richards was out well, Fraser going out well, so the two Jamaicans are giving Kathy something to run at. Richards really going early with Fraser. Freeman now starts to accelerate the backstroke. She's looking good at 250. She's left Poetschka behind. Freeman's right up to Richards now. She has gone hard. Freeman's about to go past them. I think the time's what's important now. Poetschka's well back, she'll run on. Has Kathy gone too hard? The fastest time she's run in Australia is 50.46. The fastest by any Australian is 50.19. The Australian record's 50.04. We count her down. Poetschka's coming home hard for second. It's 1-2 Australia. Freeman's digging in. The clock ticks over. It's fast. It's real fast. She's done it. She has done it. The first time ever inside 50. It is a magic moment in the sport.
She hasn't broken 50 seconds. She smashed it. She can't believe it. Listen to the big crowd here at Olympic Park.
Gee, that was a mighty roar by you, Melinda, at the time. You were last year's Athlete of the Year. Kathy, I think, is about to become the 1996 Athlete of the Year.
Yeah, you know, I was lucky last year. I had a very successful year, and I know Kathy, you know, she deserves it this year, and I won't be surprised if she does another great time here tonight because, you know, it's beautiful conditions, the crowd's fantastic, and is a home crowd for her because she was originally from Queensland. So her family will be down here tonight, and I'm sure that'll spur her on.
Well, great opposition with Renee Poetschka. They're just about to go to the blocks. Renee's also in good form, isn't she?
Yeah, Renee is going to keep Kathy on her feet. You know, it's really important for her to perform well, and she's on a good scale too of peaking tonight.
Well, they're down there now, Melinda. We see Kathy Freeman. I noticed, David, the officials left, right and centre all over Kathy, and looking at her shoes a moment ago, everything's sorted out as we look at it. I'll go through this firstly. Locker, semi-finalist at the Olympics but struggling. Lauren Poetschka, 400-metre hurdler, trying to make the relay team. Lee Naylor, part of that relay team in Gothenburg. Renee Poetschka, 4 times Australian champion and current. Kathy Freeman, Kylie Hannigan in 6, Alice Barrett, who ran well at the Nationals, 7, the very promising 15-year-old Rosemary Hayward in 8, and another promising teenager, the 17-year-old Tamsin Lewis in lane 9. Everything sorted out with Kathy there?
Yeah, they are. I just had the glasses on them. I couldn't quite see. It's something, I think one of the spikes was loose underneath the sole plate of Freeman spikes, but everything seems to be back okay now. She needs to make sure, Melinda, that doesn't bother her. What sort of effect can that have when you have a problem like that with your equipment so close to the start?
Well, I think mainly when you're inexperienced, it can be a problem, but I'm sure Kathy's old enough and more mature now. There's Renee there. She is probably all fired up for tonight. She's got absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. She's the underdog here, so she'll be out to do a good time. And as I said, she's in a peaking phase at the moment.
We've underestimated Prescott, I think. She was 50-60 at the Nationals is a great run.
AA standard, and anyone else does the AA standard. to a hoop, don't we? But this woman is so good, 49.85. Poetska's world class, no question about that. These two ran first and second in Monte Carlo last year when you had a great run in the 200 metres, Melinda. And Perec was behind them, and Miles, and the who's who of world athletics, weren't they?
Yeah, it was a very exciting time. I mean, at the best of times, there are not a lot of Australians up there, and that night they dominated, you know, first and second, and it was one to remember. But yeah, I'm sure Renee will get out there tonight. And what we also have to remember is these girls are wanting to get in the 4x4 team in Atlanta today.
Yeah, so behind the big two here, there's a bit of competition with Naylor, Hannigan, Lauren Poetska, and who knows, maybe one of the teenagers could come through here. Probably a bit early for Hayward. Lewis has been promising for a while. Locke seems to be struggling, but Freeman flying. Could she do it again? Under 50, a second time? She'll go for it. Good clean start for Freeman. Poetska's got her in her sights. So away they go from the outside, Lewis, then Hayward, Barrett, Hannigan, Freeman, Poetska. Kathy holding back a little early. And then behind them, Naylor. Down the back, you can see Freeman looks very comfortable. She's allowing Poetska to run up close to her. Renee's gone out hard at 200, has almost got alongside Freeman. Now Freeman to try and accelerate away from her. The big two are stretching away now. Naylor behind those. Freeman looks about a half a metre on Poetska, who's challenging strongly. Freeman in front. Poetska can't quite get to her. Freeman draws away now from Poetska. They're streeting the rest of them. Kathy Freeman now coming right away from Renee Poetska. The clock ticking down. Freeman, an emphatic winner, fast again. 50.22. It's her second fastest ever in this country. And Poetska second, and there was a long gap to third.
Well, she ran a very controlled race then, and Renee Poetska certainly gave it her best shot. She'll learn a lot from that race. She'd pretty much had enough by the time she got into the straight. You could tell by the look on Poetska's face. But very, very strong over the last couple of, last 20 or so metres. Kathy Freeman really powering to the line.
Yeah, it was a great controlled race, but as you can see at the end there, Kathy was pretty tired, and understandably, she's had an awesome domestic season. And we also see there Lee Naylor coming through, Michelle Locke and Kylie Hannigan. So those girls will be looking towards the 4x4 team.
You can see Poetska trying hard to relax the face of Freeman. Just a grimace there, but still relaxed. But it still hurts the 400 metres, no matter how much you try to relax.
And we've got to remember, that's a very good time. 50.22 is absolute world class. I like that for Freeman tonight because she did it differently to what she did in Melbourne.
Yeah, she did. She sort of, she didn't go out as hard as she did in Melbourne, and she was controlled down the back straight, and she seemed to really hit it at about the 160 metre mark.
She didn't panic either when Poetska went right up on her inside at 200 metres. You can often panic there, but from Kathy Freeman to the lady who's just lost the $10,000 to her, Daniela Costian, she's with Terry Kennedy.
Yeah, right, Dave Colbert. She has just lost the $10,000 to Kathy Freeman, but I saw you stand and applaud just as much as everybody else as Kathy raced away, Daniela, there.
Well, I am very happy for Kathy, and well, it doesn't matter who won the money, but I'm very happy for Kathy that she did very well tonight, and for what she did in Melbourne, very, very good.
Exactly, and 63 metres flat for you today in the discus, so obviously you can go home happy with your work.
Yes, I'm very happy because I couldn't, because of my surgery, I couldn't have too much time to prepare all this competition. So I'm very, very happy with what I threw today and all this season.
It's been a testing domestic season for you, really. Is that the sort of lead-up you need coming up to an Olympic Games?
Yeah, that's true. I'm very happy with Beatrice and Lisa, what they threw today. I mean, not today, today too, but all the season. Because I know all the stanza now, and I'm really happy with them throwing that because they push me to throw a bit further.
Yeah. Well, obviously, the competition, just to have that at home here, because you're used to having it overseas, but to have it at home is a major bonus for you. Helps you in training, helps you in competition as well.
It's true. Like it's an international competition for me with these two girls in top 10 in the world. So 3 of us are in the top 10 in the world now.
How far behind does that back injury put you, considering the Olympic Games are really creeping up, aren't they?
Not too far away, but the problem is, as I said, I didn't have too much time to prepare because I started my preparation on 1st of December. So I didn't have I missed about 2-3 months of preparation before that. But I'm happy now because I'm stronger than last year, and I feel much better than last year, of course, with my back now.
Well done tonight. You maybe can hit Kathy Freeman for a loan on the way way out.
Thank you.
Well done.
Daniela Costian to Tim Forsyth, who has got the $10,000 tonight. Third attempt at 2:36. If he clears this is live action, it'll be an Australian record. He will better his own record of 2.35 metres. Has cleared 2:31 tonight. So Australian champion yet again. So often he's been able to produce on this night all around Australia, Grand Prix final night where it's counted most. He would have been bitterly disappointed with losing that Australian championship last week.
Well, this has been his aim all season. Way back in November when he jumped at the Olympic Dream, he said his aim for this year was to get back up to the big heights, to challenge his Australian record. He gets his best chance here in the last meet of the year. Immense concentration. It's the sort of height he really will need in Barcelona. I think 2:34 in Atlanta, I should say. In Barcelona, a little bit of an aberration to get a medal, certainly to win the gold at 2:34.
Well, Sotomayor had the same height, didn't he? And a count back there, Sotomayor did 2:40 the next year in Stuttgart. So you're going to be 38, 36 to be amongst it, no question about that. So let's see if he can make a little step up here. A step up the rarefied heights of the high jump ladder and get to 2:36. If he does this, it will reverberate around the athletic world. This is the real McCoy when you're at this height. No.
No, he looked good on the runway, but just not quite there for Tim Forsyth, but still takes the overall Grand Prix prize money for the 4th time. Good jumping tonight, 2:31. He looked good there on the runway, but just missed timing the run-up. And not all that close. So from one overall Grand Prix winner to another one, Kathy Freeman's with Terry Kennedy.
Well, Kathy Freeman, we've just spoken to Daniela Costian. You've taken the $10,000 off her with that performance, but she wished you all the best. Very sporting gesture, but she might hit you for a loan later.
She's lovely. I'll do anything for her, almost anything. Anything for her, any day.
50-21, obviously, at this ground. Very happy with that effort.
I'm just glad. I mean, I think mentally I was, it took a bit mentally to get up tonight, which, obviously connects to the physical, trying to get your physical, trying to get up physically. But I'm pleased with tonight. I won. I mean, obviously it wasn't as good as my run in Melbourne, but it doesn't matter. It's nice to win at home in front of my family.
Well, after the NECs and the Nationals, obviously it's been a pretty heavy 3 weeks really to then come up here.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, it has been pretty solid, which is great training. Without sounding at all like I'm trying to put the domestics in it, it's good to get these solid runs under your belt, get the feel for running in front of a crowd again. So, it all adds up to that one day, come July Olympics.
Well, Kathy Freeman, good luck at the Olympics and overseas, and congratulations on winning the overall Grand Prix title tonight.
It's nice, thank you.
Well done.
Kathy Freeman, that time, by the way, would have been the 5th fastest in the world last year, 50-22. That's how good it was. Fitzpatrick, what a breakthrough. 146.69, a big personal best over Sammy Langat, 146.70, and Vincent Malaquin, 146.88. Martin Byron's run his best time ever. Joseph Ishia not far out, and then Thomas Hayne Goodwin. Now, Forsyth winning in 2.31 metres in the men's high jump competition. So we have a look over Ian Garrett, 2:19. Look, Tim absolutely dominated there, didn't he? David Fraser, and then Anderson, who'd be a bit disappointed, Posey. So some big winners out there. In Brisbane tonight, the Grand Prix final. We'll be back with more on Sports Vision, Sports Australia, right after this.
More from the Grand Prix final here on Sports Australia right after this break.
Welcome back to the Optus Grand Prix final. Sports Australia's coverage Great run from Kathy Freeman in the women's 400 metres. There's the time, 50.21, the official time. That was equal to her best last year. So great run from Kathy Freeman. Poetska 51.11. Lee Naylor, a good time, 52.77. Good return to form for Michelle Locke, 52.88. And Rosemary Hayward, also a great run there, 53.53. So great run from Kathy Freeman. But Terry Kennedy has Slim Tim Forsyth with him. $40,000 he's won in Optus Grand Prix prize money over the years. Timmy, you owe me a drink.
You're right, $40,000 over the years of Optus money for Tim Forsyth. The drink's on you, Tim.
I think they might be tonight. Yeah, that's four out of every four that high jump's been part of it. So I'm very happy with that.
You'll have plenty of mates tonight around the bar.
I think I will. I think I'll get a few new mates tonight. So yeah, I mean that's great. You know, I didn't really expect to get it this year. You know, I thought the competition's got a bit tougher for it every time it's come along. But you know, it's really good to take it out again.
On a more serious note, 2:31. So that's a fairly pleasing jump for you.
Yeah, it's I'm happy with it, but you know, 36 or even higher than that I would have been ecstatic. So you know, I really thought it was in me tonight. I was jumping really well. It's really the first time that I've really hit my straps all season, and you know, it's a little bit of a pity just to finish it like this. But you know, it's given me a lot of confidence to go into training, and I feel really good now. So you know, it's not so bad, I guess.
Good luck overseas. I believe you first meet in Japan, and then of course the Olympics coming up. So good luck over there.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tim.
Tim Forsyth there with Terry Kennedy. The 1,500 metres, the start list, Julian Painter, Pat Scammell, Paul Cleary. These are the big names. Paul Beatock, David Cobbett. They won the 1,500 and 5,000. They swapped about a bit in Sydney at the national titles. William Tanui there. Then John Wall over the page. So we've got three Kenyans on the first page, but Paul Cleary is the key here. Maru from Kenya, and then Julian Marsh. It's been really, I think, an outstanding night of athletics. Let's see if this can top it off. Cleary, no doubt, will go forward, put himself in a good position. Scammell should also go forward. Matthews is coming across on the outside. You can see Cleary pushing through. Maru is there.
Malaquin's also joined in on the outside. We didn't see him in the shots at the beginning, but it's Matthews and Malaquin doing the pace. Cleary, it's exactly where you'd want him to be. In front, out of trouble, following the pacemakers.
Tanui behind him with Beatock. So 2.30 is Matthews. There's Lynch 2.06 and well in the Australian Championships, former Australian champion. 2.11 there is Malaquin, who ran very well in the 800. Then Cleary third with Tanui, Maru. Cobbett coming around the outside with Beatock. So Cleary now getting a bit of help because Tanui's going to go up in front of him. So first lap, we'll get the split here. It's about 55, 56 years fast. You can see Tanui moving through to third. So Cleary's going to get a hand here in fifth. Scammell just in behind those. But Matthews leads Malaquin, Tanui, Maru, I think, third, and then Tanui, and then Cleary, Beatock, Scammell, and Cobbett. Yes, we've got them right now. So Matthews leading Malaquin, Maru, and then Tanui just in front of Cleary, and he's got Beatock and Cobbett around him, and Scammell just behind him.
Well, I think that that second group need to close the gap. Certainly Paul Cleary needs to close the gap if he's to be a chance here. I do get the feeling, though, that he looks tired. I know it's early in the race, and he's a gutsy runner, but he has done a lot of racing in the last couple of weeks. But he's smothered away in there. There's Matthews, and Malaquin's still moving along quite nicely in front. They're a long way in front of Maru and Tanui, and the group of Kenyans you can see there. It's a big gap.
So we see Matthews, but here's Paul Cleary and Pat Scammell, the two leading Australians, and Darren Lynch around them. Cleary working hard on the inside. Look at the four Kenyans in front of them: Cobbett, Tanui, Maru, and gee, Cleary got checked there, and you can't afford that when you're right on 3:38. You cannot afford to be checking and going around anybody. He's got to get into the clear in a hurry and get himself in the right position. So they come down here with Matthews having done his work. 1 lap to go. 3:38 the time they're looking for. Lynch taking off now. You see Malaquin leading from Maru, Cobbett, Lynch, Scammell, Cleary. Beatock looks to be out of it at the moment.
Well, Malaquin may go all the way here. He did win 1,000 metres in Birmingham during the European indoor season just recently, so he's in great form. Lynch, of course, a national champion from '95, going to the World Cross Country, his first Australian vest in a couple of weeks. Here comes Beatok. Malikan's moving out, so I dare say he'll drop out with 200 to go.
So the race on now. Lynch putting it to Beatok, Scammell, Quebec, and then Cleary. Lynch, Beatok, Scammell, Quebec. Has Cleary got a kick, or will it be Scammell? Time up to about 3:25 now. Beatok holding now. Cleary coming to the outside with a big run. Lynch, Cleary coming out after Beatok. Beatok looking back. Look at the time. 3:38's the key. They're not going to get it. And Beatok wins. Cleary second. Then Lynch, then Scammell, then Quebec. Ritchie. It's just one of those races, really. He never looked. I think he hit on the head right away, Dave. He never really looked comfortable. Geez, a gutsy runner though, isn't he? He made the most of it in the end. He was spent.
That won't do his chances of selection any harm, because he really did look gone. And I get the feeling that he felt so uncomfortable in the first couple of laps. He really did have a worried look on his face, but he fought back really well. And here, he just joins back in. He certainly sprints past Scammell and Lynch. Beatok's a class athlete, and so is Paul Cleary. Only 19 years of age. A couple of more months training.
I think he saw the clock actually when he just gave his head a big shake there, and he realised that he couldn't quite make it. Terry Kennedy with Paul Cleary. End of a long season for him, Terry, but he's got a lot to look forward to, and at this stage he's got a great chance of going to Atlanta.
Has been a long series for Paul Cleary. Obviously that time just out of reach once again.
Yeah, it's just out of time, unfortunately, but I'm sorry, hopefully I'll do it overseas.
How frustrating has it been for you not to get at this domestic season, because it's been one hell of a domestic season for you?
Yeah, it's been very frustrating towards these last couple of races, so I'm really just looking for time under 38 now, and hopefully I can do that in the future.
What about tonight? Has the tough season taken its toll on you leading up to tonight?
No, I haven't really raced that much, so I don't think that's taken its toll at all, but I just think that it's just becoming a bit of a mental barrier, but I think I can get it.
Well, I guess looking for a fresh start overseas now and try and make that time over there.
Yeah, that's the idea, so hopefully I can do that.
Paul Cleary, well done on a great domestic season, and let's hope you get to Atlanta.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate.
Well, one man definitely going is this one. Curry, the big javelin thrower. He's fifth round throw here. Andrew, 84.92 in Perth earlier this year. He's currently placed second in the 74-metre range. Gives out a bit of a yell. Gets it going a bit. That's better. That's about 75, 76, I think.
Just going a little bit too high, I think, tonight for Andrew Curry.
Now 4x100 metres.
Let's keep a look on that. You can just see there the tip of the javelin just getting away from him. 75.98 in round 5. So he stays behind Lovegrove. Lovegrove's had a fair few problems with the fouls tonight. He let that big one fly early, but has struggled since. So here's Adrian Hatcher, the man that had the better of Andrew Curry at the Zatopek meeting back in December. Seems like a long time ago. There's his third round, or he's currently in third, 71.50, so he'd be looking to improve on that here. Very strong. Well, there's a few grunts and groans, and that's the reason why. So Lovegrove's called it a day, and Hatcher trying to take Curry, but not to be. 66.40, disappointing end of the season for Adrian Hatcher. In third place tonight, he can still smile. So there's our result. Lovegrove, they didn't get 80 tonight, 80 metres, but still a good performance, 79.32. Curry, 75.98, ends a long season for him, and Hatcher in third, 71.50. So good results there in the men's javelin. Some great performances tonight, and Tim Forsyth taking the cash yet again.
He was the favourite going in, wasn't he, David? No surprise that he got the $10,000 for the fourth time. I thought tonight's program was very good. There are a few tired athletes, but we saw some breakthroughs again tonight. Perfect conditions, and this is how we finished up in the men's table. Forsyth 57, Robinson 55, and Curry 52. All of them have had outstanding seasons. Robinson and Curry setting new Australian records.
Well, Tim Forsyth was in great form tonight, so he really did deserve to take the money. Rowan Robinson was a little bit tired. He really did, I think, the NEC Classic was the high point for him, and he couldn't quite do it tonight. Andrew Curry has had a great season, Australian record, so plenty to look forward to there.
And I think the NEC meeting as a whole was my high point of the whole year. And if there was one particular performance, it was Cathy Freeman's in Melbourne when she broke 50 seconds.
I think so, I agree with you. And she took the overall prize in the women's competition. Terry Kennedy and Melinda Gainsford, great performances during this season by Cathy Freeman.
Yes, Dave, it can't be argued that Cathy Freeman was the dominating female athlete out there for the whole domestic season.
Yeah, she definitely was, obviously with the time in Melbourne, and she was going to have a low-key season, and she's obviously proved that wrong, and she deserved today, and she got it, so it was great for her.
Daniela Costian did push her all the way, though, just a 3-point difference at the end.
Yeah, you know, there was there, and that's always good, the competition, because it leaves the Grand Prix final more exciting for everyone to watch and also for the athletes.
Now, Melinda, obviously the Olympic Games are creeping up very quickly. You haven't been out there for this domestic season. Will you be in Atlanta, and how quick will you be going?
I definitely will be there, and I'll be trying my best to run the fastest time I've ever run in my life.
Well done, Melinda Gainsford. Well, we all wish Melinda all the best for Atlanta, as well as the rest of the Australian team, which is picked tomorrow morning, Dave.
It is indeed. So nervous night for our athletes. Well, it's been a great season, the Optus Grand Prix season in '96. We've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you on Sports Australia. We've been in action since the Zatopek in December, right through the series, finishing off in Brisbane here tonight. On behalf of Terry Kennedy and Melinda Gainsford down on the track, Bruce McAvaney sitting next to me, and the rest of the team at Sports Australia, we really have enjoyed bringing you the Optus Grand Prix series. Until next season, it's bye for now.
This has been a brave run from the defending champion. Yes, sir, he's over. It's a friendly rivalry. What a supreme season. And that is an Australian record.
This has been a production of Sports Australia.